start the introductions with Mr. Rose, and then Mr. Deeds, and then Mr. London. So if you'll go ahead and introduce yourself, and again, speak to your political philosophy as well.
I'm Johnny Rose, and I've been a Texas peace officer for 33 years. I'm married to my wife, Lucinda. We have 7 kids. And I want to ask a question. Can government ever be good without God? Can our schools ever be good without God? And I say no. Because where are our God's Davids and Daniels and Joshua's and Caleb's? Where are those people at? Ladies, where are the Esthers and Deborah's? Where are the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego's? Those 3 boys, they had to be from Texas. Because they were very brave against the king. It's time to get God back in government, okay? Because it'll never be good if we don't. And so, that's all I've got to say right now.
I'm Roger Deeds. I've been your sheriff for 4 terms. Ran for it because I loved helping people. Prior to that, I was a fireman, fire chief, EMT, got into law enforcement so I could do a better job at helping families. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good, but in the end, you're doing better than just an EMT or a fireman can do. Being the sheriff for 4 terms now, almost working on my 16th year. I do this for the people, I don't do it for me. I love what I do. We listen to the people and what they need and what we're doing. We try to adjust things and keep moving forward. You can't step backward, you gotta keep on moving forward. We've changed up things. We started out, I didn't have that many mental calls, people in distress, but then now we've got a bunch every day, 7 days a week it seems like. So I've created a mental health unit to help people. We've got street crimes unit that helps knock the drugs out of Hood County and does other things too. So we're working hard to try to serve and protect you and keep you safe.
So I'm Scott London, and I did retire as sheriff in Eddy County, New Mexico, and I now have 23 years of diverse police experience, which gives me the leadership to make the sheriff's office something that the community can count on and the employees can be proud to work for. As a police instructor with over 3,000 hours of criminal justice training, I know the importance of training, and I'll ensure that the staff is trained to adequately meet your needs. They will take on your cases, the big ones and the little ones. I'm also the fiscal conservative. With overblown budgets these days, I'm the guy that I'm not going to ask for expenditures, predictable expenditures outside the budget process. I'm also the Constitution guy. I've been teaching on the Constitution here in Hood County for the last 3 years. I did a segment on the Texas Constitution, but I've been sharing the Constitution for the last almost 10 years now, because we in law enforcement, well, like all elected officials, we take an oath to the Constitution. But unfortunately, nobody ever teaches us what that means. For many, many years, I was an ignorant but very sincere oath taker until I actually started studying that document that we're sworn to uphold. And so not only am I the Constitution guy, but I'll ensure that the deputies understand their oath to the Constitution, what that means, and what it looks like to actually protect and preserve, protect, and defend your rights and liberties. I'm Scott London, Granbury County Sheriff.
Mr. Deeds, what do you believe is the most important role in being the Hood County Sheriff, and what qualities and experience should voters look for in selecting your sheriff?
Being able to serve and protect the citizens, following the Constitution. We follow the Constitution every day. Writing tickets, you use part of the Constitution. Protecting everybody's rights, we're going to keep on doing that. Keep on doing that. I've done it since day one. It needs to be somebody with integrity, intelligence, and knowing the job. Like I've been in there for 4 terms. Been a peace officer since '98. So we're going to keep on working hard to get the job done and serve and protect the citizens.
So one of my favorite quotes was from the Granbury Baptist Association to President Thomas Jefferson, where they said, "The legitimate power of civil government extends no further than to punish the man who works ill against his neighbor." That's what we do in law enforcement. And so we need a sheriff who understands all the different facets of law enforcement, understands the importance of training to make sure that the staff is adequately trained, and that they're trained, mentored, and managed to do the job and do it well. And then, once again, that Constitution thing keeps coming up. We need to understand that document. We need to train on it. We need to actually talk about it and discuss what it looks like to defend your rights and liberty. Because, yes, when we're making an arrest, when we're making a seizure, all these things do play into the Constitution, so we need to understand all of that. And we need somebody with the leadership to improve the morale. I mean, that may not be one of those things that we think a whole lot of, but, you know, when we have improved morale, we have lower turnover. These are important things for the sheriff, and these are important things we should be looking for. When I was sheriff in New Mexico, amongst the other things that I was able to accomplish here, we were able to close 2 case homicides in one term as sheriff. And that was a result of the overhaul that we did within the detective division while I was the sheriff there. And so if these are things that you're looking for, I ask that you vote for Scott London for county sheriff.
All right. I believe we should have a sheriff that doesn't threaten his employees. He doesn't believe that it's okay for his chief deputy to fail 2 polygraphs. That's not okay. And then he also has a deputy that took blood and human tissue from a crime scene and then was caught doing it. And he didn't fire that deputy. Okay, that's not integrity, and that's not okay. We need a sheriff that will do the right thing and take care of business. I've got 7 things that I will do. The sheriff's office is top heavy, and I'll trim that down, put them out on the streets. The deputies some of the deputies, not all, are violating people's civil rights, and I'll put a stop to that. I'm going to make a faith-based approach to the mental health problem. What's wrong with, once the scene is safe, to have partner with churches that come out and after they're trained and tell people about the hope we have in Jesus? What's wrong with that? Everything else has failed, so we might as well try that. I also want a training program for the inmates so we can teach them a trade, and maybe they'll learn that trade or skill so when they get out of jail they won't come back. And then number 5, I want to partner with veterans and protect our schools. What better person to have outside of school than a veteran? If evil shows up to hurt our kids, they know what to do. They'll take care of business. And number 6, I want to simplify the reporting system and make open records more available to people. It's your information, you should have it. Number 7 is constitutional training for the deputies and constitutional training for the citizens. Let's all get on the same page. Let's come up with a system where elected officials get report cards and we network, we have term limits. This is the poster child for term limits right here. Thank you.
All right, Mr. London, as the challenger, please tell us why you are running, what you hope to accomplish in office, and why voters should elect you.
So the main reason I'm running is because I was seeing some deficiencies, and I'm not trying to badmouth anybody, but I think we can improve the services that we're giving to our community. How would you feel if someone that you knew was to report a crime and the deputy told them that they wouldn't take the report? That actually happened to me. And, you know, I just don't think that's the way that we should be treating our public. I think there's a better way, and I think our deputies should take on the cases, whether they're big or small. And sometimes it's not easy. And so that was kind of what precipitated my first thought of throwing my hat in the ring. And then as things have progressed, we've seen things change in our nation. The last few years have been a bit of a challenge. Right now we have the Biden administration threatening to arrest Texas peace officers and guardsmen for defending our southern border. Wouldn't it be nice to have a sheriff who knows what it looks like to stand up against the federal government? I've done that. And so I'm running for sheriff because I think we need strong leadership. We need the training to know what to do. Because there are a lot of situations out there that we're, quite frankly, ill-equipped for right now. So we need to bring in the experts that know how to deal with things like immigration problems. When you see all these illegal immigrants coming into your community, how do you deal with them? These are things that need to be addressed. And I'm a man that will seek it out. I do, as was alluded to, I have been for a number of years now already teaching on the Constitution. When I was sheriff in New Mexico, I brought in a constitutional attorney to train all of the deputies at the Ada County Sheriff's Office about their oath to the Constitution. And I'll do that again. Thank you, Scott London, Hood County Sheriff.
So, Mr. Rose, as the challenger, please tell us why you are running, what you hope to accomplish in office, and why voters should elect you.
Why am I running? Because I know how this man is, and I've got more experience than both these offices.
Would you hold the microphone?
Is that better? I've got 33 years as a Texas peace officer, and I know how this man is. It's time for a change, and I have more experience than both of them. And I've told you the list that I'm going to do when elected Hood County Sheriff, because there needs to be changes. We need to address the federal government and the problems. It's a captured operation up there at the federal level, and some people need to go to jail for treason. Okay, so we need to fix that before we can really fix the border problem, the fentanyl problem. It's just a mess. So we have to take action and stand. We've got to stand for God, so He'll stand for us. That's it.
All right. Mr. Deeds, as the incumbent, what accomplishments in your term of office are you most proud of, and why should voters re-elect you?
Well, I came into office in 2009, like when I was a deputy, we had lights, we had sirens, we had a radio. That was pretty much it. After I came into office, we put mobile data terminals in each vehicle, in-car cameras. They had in-car cameras before. These are digital cameras. We got body cameras. We made technology come up just because of what people can say. Back when I was a deputy, you went before Judge Walden, you raised your hand, and they believed you, what you were saying. But anymore, you got to have, statements and videos and all kinds of things to prove your case in court. So we've kept up with that throughout the years. We've got better technology to keep the job going and take care of business. So I'm proud about that. We've come a long ways. Cars, vehicles, the commissioners have stepped up to the plate and bought us vehicles that we can depend on to get us around, and they keep on doing that too. So radio system, we pieced together the radio system over the years. Now we've got a trunking system. So unfortunately, good things cost money, but it's going to keep everybody a whole lot safer, being able to communicate inside of mobile homes out in no-trail shores or something, and inside big buildings in town, go up at the school, and everybody working together on the same page. And that's the way it's always been. That's the way it always should be. Everybody working together to get the job done and protect and serve.
Mr. Rose, in the event that the Biden administration issues a confiscation order on any type of assault rifles and enlists the help of local police departments, sheriff's offices, etc., how will you respond? Will you adhere to our Second Amendment rights?
Yes, I would. As the chief law enforcement officer of Hood County, it's your obligation to go by your oath. You take an oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, and I would honor that. And just because some jackleg federal decision, we're not going to go by it. This is Hood County, and that's why I want to partner with those veterans, because not only can they protect schools, if the federal government comes in here trying to screw with us, those boys are getting called out. Once again, they know what to do. So, yes, I will protect your Second Amendment. Who's next?
Sheriff Deeds.
Same question.
Yes, sir.
You want to read it again?
No, it's about the Biden came in and wanted to take the weapons. And, one of the candidates said before, We took it to court, we put it together, took it to court, and got it passed unanimously for the Second Amendment, sanctuary county here in Cook County. So well, that's not going to happen. We're going to stick to our guns, and we're going to protect people. We're not going to allow that to happen.
So I'm going to take it one step further. No, I absolutely would not comply with the Biden administration in seizing your guns, but I also trained the deputies on what it's going to look like to actually protect their rights, because it's important for them to know what that's going to look like. Because they're going to show up and they're not going to have a warrant, because there is no crime that's been committed, so there's no probable cause to seize your guns. If you're going to have an agent standing on the front door wanting to seize guns, what can they do? They should be able to call the sheriff's office, and the deputy knows how to handle this. It's real simple. You show up, Mr. Resident, do you want this guy on your front porch? No, sir. Mr. ATF agent, do you have a warrant to be here? No, sir. Then you need to leave, or I'll have to arrest you for criminal trespass.
All right. Mr. Dees, what is your position on Governor Abbott's response to border security and the issue of states' rights versus federal policy, given the recent ruling by the Supreme Court that the federal government can remove Texas's barriers?
I'm glad that Abbott stepped up to do what he's doing, because the feds, it gets worse and worse all the time. More and more people coming across the border, and so he's done a great job stepping in there when the feds won't do their job. People have asked me how it affects Hood County. Well, years ago, we used to have 2, 3, 4, 5 illegal aliens in the jail over the course of a month, and now it's up to like 15 to 20. So that's not a bunch, but that's quite a few that are coming through town. And if they break the law in the great state of Texas, then they're going to be going to jail for whatever it is. So that affects us just like a lot of the other people. As far as the drugs with fentanyl, methamphetamine, 20 years ago, it was $100 to buy a gram of meth, and now it's $10. And that's all because of what's coming across the border. Fentanyl, everything. The drugs that are hurting families, kids, tearing up lives, killing people. That's what's coming across the border. So we need to stop that.
I'm pleased that Governor Abbott has finally stepped up. I think it's a little late to the game, but better late than never, right? So he has finally stepped up and is truly trying to enforce our southern border, which if you look at the U.S. Constitution, you'll see that the U.S. government, the federal government, has primary responsibility to protect our borders. We see that 2 different places in the U.S. Constitution. But we also have this thing called the 10th Amendment, which means the states have rights that they have delegated to the federal government. So what happens when the federal government doesn't do their job? In our Texas Constitution, we also have the right to defend our borders. And so I'm glad to see that he has stepped up, because, like I said, our Texas Constitution says we can defend our borders. The 10th Amendment says we can protect our borders. And so better late than never. And if we need to help in whatever way to protect the sovereignty of Texas, I'm all for it.
Yes, I definitely support Governor Abbott. He's doing the right thing, and they pretty much covered all the items that why he should. It's the right thing to do. And the federal government, like I said, it's a captured operation, and something has to be done to stop this cluster that's going on. They're destroying the citizens and doing everything to undermine this country. So let's start a movement to take care of the federal level, the people that are committing treason at the federal level.
This will go to Mr. Lundgren.
Okay, this is a yes or no question. Yes or no? J6 was an insurrection against our country. Please explain.
I'm going to struggle with that one, because I quite honestly don't follow the national news very much. I'm a local guy. I'm going to have to plead ignorance on this. I've heard arguments on both sides. I think it was a travesty. I think what the federal government did was completely awful. I think the citizens have a right to, we see this in our First Amendment, a right to redress the government for grievances. We had a lot of people that were really, truly upset. when you have police officers holding open doors, it's hard for me to really call that an insurrection, but there again, I'm gonna have to plead ignorant on that one.
That was absolutely not an insurrection. That was a setup by the Democrats and the enemies of this country, and that was not an insurrection. That was a setup. And if you don't see that, I'm sorry, but those people were set up because they're for Trump. And this is just a travesty.
I guess I've read what everybody else has read, so I worry about Texas, I worry about Hood County and the citizens around here, so I worry about that because it's a trickle-down effect, just like what's going on at the border. So I worry about just taking care of people around here, and yeah, that was a mess.
It'll go to Mr. Rose.
This will be the final question. Who is your largest campaign donor to date? And please describe your relationship with this donor.
Okay, my biggest donor was a guy named Bill Wiley. I've known him for 28 years, so that was my biggest donor. We've been friends for a while.
My biggest donor was a guy named Mr. Craddock. He gave me $5,000. Got $5,000 from another guy out in Con Plantation, so, and then some other $1,000 checks. So a number of them. William Kelly was the other one, so.
My biggest campaign contributor was Greg Neal. He was one of the first friends that I made when I moved to Granbury. He actually helped me move sofas into my house when I first moved here. Some of y'all may know the name because you'll hear him in a little bit. He's running for constable and ran for sheriff 4 years ago. But he was my biggest campaign donor.
All right, we'll do closing now. Yes, Mr. Deeds, you'll do that, and you'll have 1 minute for closing remarks.
We've heard a lot of different information up here. I've been here serving as your sheriff for all these years. I worked hard to get here where I'm at, and it's a 7-day-a-week job, nights and weekends, everything included. So I'm willing to keep on doing what I'm doing, and I want to earn your trust. I want to do what you need me to do, but also go by the law and the Constitution, and we're going to keep working hard to keep Hood County safe and all the citizens. So vote for Roger Deeds next election.
Well, I was a little disappointed we didn't get to ask the question about the platform planks because 1 through 12 is kind of the core values of the Republican Party, so I'm going to give this as bonus material. My favorite is 13 because it talks about our oaths to the Constitution. And so if anybody has followed me for the last 10 years, you know that is very near and dear to me. But I'm also the guy that's going to make sure that we start seeing an increase in our case closure rates. We will look into our cold case homicides, see if there's solvability that we can actually get some of those cleared out. And we will hold our staff accountable to make sure that, one, that you're properly served and that they can have some pride and satisfaction in their job, that they might be proud to call themselves Hood County Sheriff's deputies. And I want a community that can be proud and confident to stand behind their sheriff. I'm Scott London, Hood County Sheriff.
Talking about the Republican platform, I say they should work a lot harder to suck a lot less. And that's what I say about the Republicans. They need to try harder, do better, be more conservative. But anyway, in closing, I know what the problems are at the sheriff's office, and I know I've got solutions for them. And if you want a Romans 13 sheriff, you want a we the people sheriff, you want a constitutional sheriff, vote for me. I'm Johnny Rose. Thank you.